Is it on? Alright, this is a shout out video. Me and Chris. Aw, dang. Alright. Shout out to Laura, my best friend. Shout out to Priscilla. How do you pronounce the last name?
Magical.
Shout out to Mama Flirts. Shout out to Frida. Darlene. Shout out to Karen Gonzalez. Shout out to Desiree Lopez. Shout out to my whole Oscar crew. We're gonna be stood up tomorrow. Shout out to Alondra Sandoval. Shout out to Victoria Ayala. Shout out to Candy Estrada. Shout out to Manuela Kills. Shout out to Cycle. Hey. Shout out to Mariam Maya. Shout out to Joel Tapia. Shout out to Jocelyn. I'm taking my phone. Shout out to Monse. Shout out to Old Davis Garcia. Shout out to Little Emily. Shout out to Liana Ashchian. Shout out to Alexis G. Shout out to Kimberly Garcia. Shout out to Janelle Lopez. Shout out to Martha C. Shout out to Cindy. I don't know how to pronounce the last name, but you go to Rugby High School.
Amandaris.
Shout out to Very Perez. Shout out to Andrea Ortega. Shout out to
She was 7th grader.
Jasmine Lopez. Shout out to Esmeralda Corona. Shout out to Amy. What's the last name? Aguirre. Shout out to Alexis Ortiz. Shout out to Crystal Call. Shout out to Ashley. How do you say her last name? Ashley Garrido. Dino. Shout out to Lauren Sedano.
Shout out to Liz Torres, my Brody. Hit me up.
Shout out to Jasmine Solorio. You added my homie Chris. Shout out to Tiffany Ramirez. Shout out to Pita Vega. Shout out to Priscilla Demas. Shout out to Jenny Cruz. Shout out to Celine Garcia. Shout out to Des Castro. Shout out to Diana Garcia. Shout out to Berda. Shout out to Zen Loves You, Hun. Shout out to Stephanie Paz. Shout out to fucking Roberta. Shout out to Andrea Ruiz. Shout out to Valerie Lucas. Shout out to my sister Kelsey. Shout out to faggot that like my status, John F. Perzia, number 5. Poncito, number 5.
Ponchito.
Shout out to Stephanie Jimenez. Shout out to Stephanie Gibb. Shout out to Clarissa, Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer, yeah.
Oh,
shout
shit.
out to Mama Steez. Shout out to Mary Love. Shout out to Paulina Salazar. Shout out to Daniela. I don't know your last name, just go to her high school. Shout out to Samantha Lee Burgery. Shout out to Lillian Delgado. Shout out to Vanessa Isabella Tora. Shout out to Lupita Perez. Shout out to D. Ortiz. Shout out to Verena Hernandez. Shout out to Jasmine Ordeles. Shout out to Jenny Jimenez, aka Juanito Lover. Shout out to Rebecca De La Pena. Sounds like Jalapeno De La Shout out to Genesis De La Roya. Shout out to Angela Gomez. Shout out to Natalie Flores. Shout out to Alejandra Gomez. Shout out to Marissa Garcia. Shout out to Jasmine how do you say that? Ariano. Shout out to Nessa Torres. Shout out to Liz Garcia. Shout out to Jasmine Cortez. Shout out to Christy Martinez. Shout out to Kel. How do you say her name? First?
Who?
First girl. Claremy Reyes. Shout out to Maya Sotelo. Shout out to Samantha Gomez. Shout out to Ashley Quiniones. Shout out to Nicole, Mary Ortiz. I see us at 7-Eleven a lot. Shout out to Montserrat Ruiz. Shout out to Destiny, Brittany Vasquez. Shout out to Denise Grace. Shout out to Dulce Garcia. Yomi Dollar. Shout out to Ivy Cole. Camarno. Shout out to shout out to Abby Torres. Shout out to Obey This Bitch. This ain't Facebook. Shout out to Mandy Rose. Shout out to Alondra Mendoza. Shout out to Nia Avila. Shout out to Anna Quintella. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Shout out to Sarah G. Shout out to Antoinette Love. We have to video chat, so we're gonna call you after this. You better answer. Shout out to Francis Love. Shout out to Destiny Samantha. Shout out to Michelle Oliver. Shout out to my homie Alejandra Marquez. Shout out to the homie Justin DeLeon. Alright, later, hater, like this video, bitches. Peace out.